Hi there, welcome to the Art of Business English podcast, the podcast where we help people like you get the language skills you need for doing business in English. This is Andrew Ambrosius, your host for yet another episode here on the podcast, and I've got episode 192 for you today, and we're looking at 10 more must-know prepositional phrases, but this time with the preposition by. If you've been listening to me over the past 2 weeks, you will have heard my previous 2 episodes. This is a 3-part mini-series that I've got on prepositional phrases, and today is the last part. And today we're looking at prepositions with by. Obviously, if you haven't checked out the previous episodes, you can over at the blog, or you can listen to them on your podcasting software. So please have a look or have a listen to those before you continue with this episode, because I'm sure it'll be nice to have a bit of continuity. So I hope you're all well. We are in December of 2021, so we're coming up to the end of the year. So it's probably a very busy time for most of you. So I'm not going to take much of your time. Let's dive in and take a look at 10 must-know prepositional phrases with the preposition by for doing business in English. Okay, so the first one on my list is by chance. By chance, and that means without plan or intent. So it basically happens accidentally. And if you know Spanish, it means por casualidad. And an example would be public relations campaigns don't happen by chance. They require time, effort, and planning. Okay, so they don't happen accidentally. The next one is by all accounts. By all accounts, and this basically means as said by most people. So it's generally accepted and said by most people. So an example would be the subcontractor who performed much of the training did a poor job by all accounts. In this case, the people who did the training didn't do a great job. People who were trained said that the training was not good. So by all accounts, people said it was not great training. Looking at the third one on my list is by all means. And by all means is very common, and it basically means to do something without hesitation or without any doubt. There is complete certainty. I think in Spanish it means por supuesto. An example would be, John, could you please help me with this proposal, as the deadline to have it finished is fast approaching? And John replies, by all means, Chris, how can I help? Meaning, of course, by all means. Without delay, without hesitation. Okay, so the next one, number 4, is by design. And we often do things by design when we want to do them deliberately. They are not done as an accident. They are deliberate. We've made a conscious effort to do something that way. So an example would be, we must focus on developing new technological methods and establishing the principle of privacy by design. So when you design your products, you are building in privacy. Okay, that's your principles, and you're making a conscious effort to do that. The next one is by means of. By means of. And this means when you do something with the use or the help of something else. So por medios de, I think it is in Spanish. Improvements to our methodology takes place by means of joint research projects and initiatives in the field of education. Via or through these initiatives and this research, you are improving your methodology. So by means of this. Another common one is by mistake. Okay, to do something by mistake is you do it as an error. It was an accident. You did it unintentionally. Okay, so you can't really translate that to por accidente, otherwise it wouldn't sound very good. In Spanish it would be sin querer. So an example would be, I think I have deleted an important file by mistake, so accidentally. You better call the IT department and get them to restore a backup. So by mistake, you did not intentionally delete that file. Another one is by law. And by law means that something that you must or must not do according to the state's regulations, or the state's or the country's regulations. So it's by law. So for example, I could say to you, unfortunately, by law, we are unable to sell you this product without also providing you with specific safety training first. So this product has some safety training attached to it by law. You can't use this product without first receiving the training. Okay, the next one is by sight. Okay, by sight. And this is to know someone or something by appearance, by recognizing but not through being acquainted. So this means you know someone but you haven't really met them, basically. So for example, you could say, I know her by sight, but not by name. Could you formally introduce us? So when you've been introduced, then you know that person, but until then, maybe you just know them by sight. Another one is by far. And by far is a very common expression which means by a great amount or considerably. So we often use this in business. You could say this. You could say, for example, the transport sector is by far the major source of air pollution, meaning it's greatly more of a polluter than the nearest comparative. Another one is by heart. And by heart is when you learn something in such a way that you can say it from memory. So you memorize something. It's like in Spanish would be aprender de memoria. Okay, so you learn something by heart. So for example, when practicing your presentation, it is a good idea to learn the main ideas by heart, but not to sound like you are reading from a script. We want you to know the content, but not sound like a robot who's reading. Okay, so you need to learn it by heart, but just the main idea. Well, that's it, folks. That's my list of 10 prepositional phrases with the preposition by for business. And I hope you found, of course, this episode interesting and as well as useful. And of course, if you do have any questions or you would like to add your own phrasal verbs to the list, then why don't you send me a message on SpeakPipe, on my SpeakPipe channel, or you could drop us a comment on the blog. And of course, if you are interested in expanding your knowledge of vocabulary, then you should download your copy of my ebook, 500 Business English Collocations for Everyday Use, which also includes the pronunciation in MP3 format for free, so you can learn the vocabulary and the correct pronunciation as said by a native. Well, that's it for me for another week, people. I hope you've enjoyed this episode as always, and I look forward to having you back again next week. So that's it for me. Take care. Bye for now.